I want to try out a concept on you. Listen and see what you think about it. There's no greater trial than the absence of a trial. Now you might hear that and you might give me the Labrador look. Your head just kind of tilted to the side. Wait, what was that? What did you say? I think you've been locked up a little bit too long, Pastor Erik. We are, after all, in the midst of a quarantine, a global pandemic. You're saying there's no greater trial than the absence of trial. It would be no greater blessing than to have the absence of the trial. What are you talking about? Well, walk with me here for just a second and think about this. We are Bible-believing Christians, so we believe the sovereignty of God and the providence of God. So a passage like Psalm 115, verse 3, that says that our God is in the heavens, He does whatever He pleases. We believe a passage like James chapter 1, that God brings trials for our good, for our faith to be strengthened. We believe a passage like Hebrews chapter 12, that He disciplines His children. In fact, the presence of discipline indicates the presence of His love. And the implication is a lack of discipline would indicate the lack of fatherly love and compassion. Then we have the interpretive framework to interpret all of these circumstances from a passage like Romans chapter 8, verse 28, that all things work together for good to those who love God and who are called according to His purpose. So we put all that together, and we would have to conclude that the absence of a trial would be the saddest reality after all, saddest reality of all. It would be God letting us go and unto ourselves without discipline or trial or any resistance. Listen to a passage like Hosea chapter 4, verse 17. Ephraim has joined himself to idols. Leave him alone. How frightening is that? Leave him alone. What does a doctor do when there's nothing left for him to do? The patient is unable to be cared for. He's left alone unto himself. How sad would it be for God to just leave us alone, to be lost, to be done, to be left in misery? Don't miss the wisdom of our God in the midst of this trial. Don't miss His love in the midst of this discipline. Don't miss the inconvenience, which is a demonstration of His fatherly care and perhaps even discipline of us in the midst of the trial. To be left alone is a greater misery than to be uncomfortable for a little while. See, the body suffers here inconveniences for a short time. But to be left alone, the body and the soul suffer eternity in hell forever. So brothers and sisters, dear friends, rejoice in God's loving, fatherly care for you, even in the midst of difficult times. For the greatest trial would have to be the absence of a trial, because that would mean the absence of God's fatherly care and intentional working in our lives. So rejoice. Again, as Paul says, rejoice.